future plans for prescribed burning here at Hobbs?
We've set a 10-year burn plan together. We've put together a 10-year burn plan, and again, as I mentioned, with the weather challenges, we don't get to meet our objective every year, so that postpones us off. But we're about a little over halfway through of accomplishing that, burning at about 50% of the track in those scattered units that I was describing. So we're looking forward to continuing that. Now, we have cooperators that help us on the project. The Nature Conservancy is one of our partners. Arkansas Forestry Commission, the local fire departments are very vital to the operation. So their participation is critical. Now, the Nature Conservancy, we're going to possibly lose most of their help in the next few years because they rely on grant sources to give us assistance. So we're going to be very much turning into inwardly to state parks to try to bring our personnel up here to manage these burns for the next few years. Once we get all those units burnt, and at the same time we're trying to stay on our cycle of 3 to 5 years of the other units, in between there we'll be back on just reburning each unit every 3 to 5 years, hopefully. And after probably 4 to 5 burns, 3 to 5 burns, somewhere in that area, the forest will be starting to thin out. And again, hopefully if we can burn deep enough and hot enough in these units to get some of this ground duff off the ground, not only to prevent, uncontrolled forest fires, of course, but also by clearing that ground layer off, that gets us down to the soil layer. And there's, right now, usually it's estimated that within the first year you do a burn on a unit, there's 50 native species down there that are wanting to come up. After 3 or 4 years of burning that, there will be upwards of 150 native species that have been in the ground for years and years, decades even, waiting for a clearing to open up and get nutrients down there in sunlight, and they'll just pop right up on the forest floor. In the old days, prior to man logging these areas in the Ozark region, used to drive wagons through here and just wide open spaces, and you can see out here you really can't do that in these areas. So hopefully we'll do that. Our goal is obviously to thin the forest out, let the native species come back in, and bring more herbaceous layer, which is going to help wildlife, going to bring a greater variety of bird species, and as well as those game and non-game species. Turkeys need wide open spaces for their poults to get bugs and grasshoppers, those kind of bugs and insects. So this will help that species as well, which we're really hurting on our wild turkey population now. Deer and other mammals that feed on herbaceous material will have more herbaceous material to feed on. So it's just a benefit to the forest, the vegetation, as well as the wildlife. So we're looking forward to finish that implementation, and then it's going to be an ongoing maintenance responsibility after that.